Be extremely selfish as a woman. So if you are a woman in 2024, and if you are a woman that's dating, be very, very selfish. Selfish women and women who prioritize themselves are women who go further. Be extremely, extremely selfish. Put yourself first, put your needs first, and don't put anyone else's needs first. Just being honest.
I want a hamburger, no, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog, I want a milkshake. I want potato
You'll
chip.
get nothing and like it.
Maybe it's just me, but I'm failing to see how this is any different from the rest of the dating advice that you and your hideous brood of cretins have been peddling on TikTok for the last decade. That's all you preach about day in and day out. That because you were born a female, you are entitled to the best that men have to offer. Dating apps have been manipulating women into this mindset for the last decade and a half, and you're forgetting something. The same standard works for men as well. If the man is a bachelor, he is under no obligation to put anybody else first in his life. In fact, he shouldn't be doing anything of the sort. And that's exactly what men are doing. They're walking away from you lizard-skinned heathens and becoming better men because we're tired of being diminished into nothing but a sperm-donating cash machine. So go ahead and be selfish. It's not our problem if you want to spend the rest of your life alone. Just being honest.
When you're on dating apps, be very selfish. Tell them, I want to meet at Nobu. I want an Uber there, an Uber back. I expect this, I expect that. If you can't do it, bye. Go. Gone! Nobody cares anymore. It's 2024. Get selfish. If you're on the dating apps, make sure you prioritize yourself. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, the dating apps you're very disposable as a woman because these people are just swiping. If they don't like Sally, they'll get Jane. Okay? So the only way to get what you want is make the profile look really good. So get your bait for the fish ready. Make your profile really, really good. Don't state exactly what you're looking for because that person will become what you're looking for to hit it and quit it. So be very vague about what you want, but know exactly where you want to go.
Nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
Well, I want quality products at affordable prices. Well, that and free unlimited steak, and a job that requires the use of a stamp, because nothing makes you feel more official than using a stamp. What's your point? You might be thinking you have a monopoly on the English language, but you're forgetting one key thing. If you're making all sorts of demands that cost a bunch of money and you expect the man to foot the bill, that man reserves the right every single time to say no. In fact, he should. Men are under no obligation to buy you a plate of overpriced meat and noodles because you're under the guise that you overpaid for a gaudy wardrobe. Far from it. If anything, you should be able to prove that you're worth the expenditure. It's 2024. You are your own queen, but a man is still a king, and the last time I checked, a king can still stand without the queen. Trust me, I know my way around a checkerboard.
So be ruthless when you're dating. I want to go to Nobu. Okay, for example, I want to go to Sexy Fish. I want to go here. I want to go there. These are just examples, okay? But you have to put down where you want to go and make sure it's expensive to filter out the crap, okay?
And I want a toilet made out of solid gold, but it's just not in the cards now, is it?
Here's a nickel's worth of free advice you didn't ask for. Maybe if you're trying to find a quality, self-respecting man, you probably shouldn't refer to him as crap. Doesn't really hurt our feelings because nobody gives a damn what you think, but it's because it's just a sign to men everywhere that you're an insanely shallow, superficial mooch. But then again, you're probably not looking for a self-respecting man. You're looking for a rich man, and what you're doing is definitely not gonna work. Rich men don't stay rich by taking women out on dates to 5-star restaurants, and let's be real here. Even if that were the case, you're not the caliber of woman that a rich man wants to date, but to be fair, I can't see any man wanting you, rich or otherwise. Your aging looks and shrill voice tells men everywhere that you're a life-sucking banshee succubus, and any man who wants that deserves to get the life force sucked out of him.
I'm not gonna lie, don't tell the feminists, but I would rather stay home and cook and clean. I would rather do it. When I tell you I love to cook and clean, just don't tell the feminists. I love to do it, and I love to do it for a man. I do. However, not outside of marriage. Absolutely not. That sounds like hell. But just to see the look on a man's face when you cook him a meal that is so good, you could just tell he's proud.
Smelly fish.
I don't know. Something doesn't seem right about this. Now, on the surface, this is something that a lot of men can get behind, but to be fair, I've always had my doubts about the traditional wife trend that's been making the rounds on social media. Something just seems off about the whole thing, and I don't buy it for a second. But seeing this chick with the way her hair is styled makes me insanely suspicious. Well, that and the dress she's wearing. Now, as an intergalactic bounty hunter, I will be the first to admit that I'm not really up to date with women's fashion, but I have seen enough spy movies to know that's not a dress you wear when you're chopping onions. That's a dress you wear to a party when you can't get away with jeans and a Husker Du t-shirt. This video reeks worse than those onions. I'm getting hints of nail polish remover, week-old fish, and about 2 bags worth of week-old garbage.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it's a formidable scent. It stings the nostrils.
There's just something, I don't know, there's something within me as a woman. Maybe it's almost turning 25 that got me thinking, like, this cooking and cleaning thing isn't bad. Like, I just don't understand why women wanted to work. What was the point? Like, there is nothing satisfying about working. A man that takes care of you, a man that provides for you, you don't have to worry about anything, no bills. I will cook and clean all day.
I think you're lying. Huh?
This video is brimming with condescending sarcasm. This isn't pandering. This is making fun of women who actually want to provide for their man, which doesn't make any sense at all. Why are you making fun of those women? They're not doing you any harm, and if that's what they want to do, then there's plenty of men out there who would wife them up in a heartbeat. There is nothing inherently wrong with that. But those women are so few and far between because chicks like you insist that your feminist ideology is the best way to go in life because of blatantly superficial reasons, even though at the end of the day, the only thing you're gonna have going for you is an income you'll waste on meaningless possessions and an empty bed because no man wants to deal with you and your crap. All you're gonna do is post yet another regret video in a sea of regret videos that smartasses like me are gonna react to for years on end. But hey, it's your life. Do whatever the hell you want with it.
Like, what is the complaint? I'm making some fire food tonight. I'm going to serve it, and I'm just enjoying it. Yes, I'm crying over some onions, but is this what we fought for as women? I don't know. I'd rather cry over some onions than cry about a job. That's for sure.
Liar, liar, liar. Yeah, nice try. The complaint is that you are not being genuine. Gentlemen and gents, I went ahead and did a little research into this chick's TikTok profile. Now, before you rage at me about why I did that, just know I have a plus 90 advantage to my already natural ability to be immune to the idiocy and cringe of modern women. So I have no problem doing this kind of research, so you don't have to. Besides, if you're gonna call out a chick for lying, it's better to have the receipts. It works out better for you in the court of public opinion, and depending on the makeup of judges and lawyers, it might even help you out in the court of law, but that's a stretch nowadays. So here's some of the highlights for you.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't think a broke man should date. I really don't. Think about in your mind what your ideal situation is. Okay, I want designer purses from a man. I want him to spoil me with even just flowers or chocolate, something simple. If you have that in your mind, why is that not the bare minimum for you? Ladies, if you're dealing with a man that wants to do 50-50, I think I have a good solution for you. I would look that man dead in the face and be like, okay, so you want to be roommates? That's not something I'm looking for. I take care of myself already, and if I wanted a roommate, I would have gotten one.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for you on that front, sweetheart, but I saved the best piece of evidence for last, so just take a look at this little gem.
Now, if you saw the video, you heard me talk about how I would stay home and cook and clean for a man. And while I was kind of just kidding and kind of just being sarcastic, I would definitely do it for the right person and for the right man. However, they would need to fulfill all of my feminine goals and standards. And one of them is marriage.
You know, I suppose I could have saved myself a lot of time by just posting this video instead of going into a shallow deep dive into your TikTok profile, but I just wanted to make sure because now we can say with absolute confidence that
It's a fake.
Body count does not matter at all, and I'm going to give you a very specific reason why you should be a celeb. In college, I was in a communications class, and via anonymous clicker, they asked us to guess what the average amount of people a college student hooks up with a year is. Then they asked us to say how many people we had hooked up with that year. People assumed the number that people had hooked up with was around 7 or 8 on average. Actual number of people hooked up with was 2 people. Our communications professor told us this to show perception is very different than reality. So the moral of the story is to be because everyone assumes you're being one anyway.
That does not make sense.
Oh, come on, woman. If you're gonna embarrass yourself like this, the least you could do is research a biased case study and completely take it out of context. You're just being lazy with this so-called proof. College is not reality. Far from it. It's an overpriced kegger that ends with catastrophic debt disguised as your first real taste of adulthood. And just because you vaguely remember a lecture from one of your classes doesn't represent anything except your abundance of pure stupidity, and frankly, you don't need any help in that department. The fact that you have a low opinion of yourself and even less respect doesn't mean that anybody should model themselves after you and your terrible decisions on how you chose to live your life. It's not complicated. Men do not want women with high body counts. The less men you've banged, the more desirable you are. And there aren't enough college lectures in the universe that can disprove this.
Being a is fun, it's flirty, it's trendy, it's cool, and it's healthy. All positive words. And my number was 10, which means I won because mine was the highest. That just proves it's rule the world.
That's nothing to be proud of, Rusty.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, because you got 10 dudes to play with your greasy dumpster of unimaginable pain, that means you rule the world? Even if that were true, which it isn't, how would that even work? All you've done is prove that you irresponsibly live your life by emotion and pure hedonism. You lack depth, emotional maturity, and any kind of value outside of the 5 minutes of fun a guy is willing to give you. If that's ruling the world, then it's no wonder why the place has descended into chaos and madness. What you're talking about isn't fun, trendy, and flirty. It's a life choice that not only has detrimental effects on the individual, but also on society as a whole. When you're devaluing women on a massive scale by taking pride in a body count, all you're doing is reducing the amount of desirable women in a pool that's already been treated worse than a portable toilet at a Mexican food festival. And that has serious implications on society and our bowels.
If you don't believe me, well, I don't know you, so bye, dead to me. Have fun living your uncool, life. Also, being a is a mindset, so even if you don't want to hook up with people, you can still be a I don't know how to end this video, so bye.
You don't want to know me? Well, that's fine. I don't want to know you either. You are a sad, desperate little woman who seeks validation on social media because you have nothing else going for you in your life. Let me put it to you this way. If you were nothing, that would mean you have gained some value along the way to the store where you get your boxed wine. You need to sleep around because you are incapable of having any form of self-validation otherwise. You're already well on your way. You've made your choices in life and now you have to live with them. And those consequences mean that the good men, the kind that actually want to take care of a woman, won't bother to look your way because you have nothing to offer. And not too long from now, your looks are gonna fade to the point where even drunk men aren't gonna want to sleep with you anymore. Again, like I said, you are already well on your way because that's the nature of the wall. It's unforgiving and inevitable. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.